welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. The first two guests that we have over cuddling with Tammy are going to be some of our older dogs on the adoption floor, and they are Peanut and Coco. Peanut is the smaller of the two, and she's 11 years old, and she is the mother of the more portly Chihuahua that we've got over there, Coco, who is 9 years old. These guys came to us with two cats as well from a family where the woman had just passed away, and the other members of the family were not able to care for these four animals, so they brought them here to us so that we could find them their second homes. All of these animals basically have lived with this woman their entire lives, so they've only ever had one loving home, and now they're here looking for someone else to love them in their golden years. So because these dogs are seniors, they do have some issues. A lot of animals, as they age, just like people, and just have more medical needs. So Peanut is going to need a dental within the next 12 months, next 1 to 2 months, as will Coco. They're both on supplements for possible arthritis, and then both of them will need to be spayed, which we will take care of here at the shelter, and then Peanut is also going to have some mammary tumors removed and get a chest x-ray at that time. So we're going to try to take care of as much of that as possible before sending them off to their new homes. But just anytime you're looking for a senior pet, you want to make sure that you are able to financially handle any of their upcoming medical expenses. Other than those things, they are very sweet, but they are very shy. So you really need to be patient with them. When you're getting to know them, you're not going to rush in really quickly. You're going to take everything nice and slow. And as you can see, they're quite content being just little lap dogs and having lots of TLC. So they have a lot of great qualities if you're just looking for some nice, quiet companionship, especially if you live in a smaller home or an apartment. You're not really looking to have a dog that needs to have a ton of walks all the time, lots of energy. These would be a great option. Because they are seniors, they will also go home for that senior discount in their adoption fee. If you are interested in making Peanut and Coco part of your family, you can visit with them here at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Now, if you're still living in kind of an apartment or a small house, but you want something with a little bit more energy than our senior Chihuahuas, then maybe Spunky is the dog for you. He is about 1 year old, so he's still got plenty of puppy energy, and he's a terrier mix, which just means he's going to have a lot of energy probably for quite some time. He is black and white with ticking, and he only weighs in at just over 30 pounds, so he's going to be a good small to medium-sized dog for you. He came to us as a stray, but obviously he's got a lot of personality and playfulness, hence the name that we gave him, Spunky. As you know, we behavior assess all of the dogs that come into us, and what we found about Spunky is this, that he does keep his kennel pretty clean. He's very friendly, he's very excited. When you approach him, he reacts favorably to other dogs. He tries to play with them. He's difficult to obtain, and he's not the easiest to walk because he's full of energy and he's so excited. He just needs some fine-tuning with those manners because he jumps up on you and he pulls and stuff when he's walking on a leash. No real issues with food aggression. He willingly lets go of objects. So no issues with guarding, but he does love to play and he loves toys, as you can see today. But he still is very gentle with the toys and things like that. He loves to be petted. So he's just a great overall dog who just is young and needs somebody who's going to reinforce those just good manners things and give him just a little fine tuning with some training. He will be neutered. We make sure all the animals, all the cats, dogs, rabbits, are spayed or neutered before they leave, so we'll take care of that for you. We're also going to make sure he gets all his preventatives, so he'll get his rabies and his distemper and bordetella vaccines. He has been dewormed. We'll give him all his flea and tick preventative. We've also made sure that he has been microchipped. We do that for all the cats and dogs as well, so that if Spunky were to go on another adventure and end up as a stray like he did on the 30th or the 20th of March, then we'll be able to get him back to his home relatively quickly. Because he is an adult dog at a year old, he would be adopted for a fee of $92.50, and that's going to cover all of those medical things that we've provided for him, as well as his room and board.
What is that?
Our next guest is a familiar face. This handsome guy is Sullivan, and he is another one of the dogs that came to us as a stray. He is a 1 to 2 year old pit bull mix, and he is just the sweetest guy. Again, another dog that's going to love to play, a little higher energy. We love pit bulls here, but unfortunately, a lot of people who rent are unable to have pit bulls in their apartments, in their rental properties, because landlords don't really want to pay the insurance and things like that for having this type of breed. So if you're interested in making a pit bull part of your family, that's awesome. But we do want to make sure that you are able to have one of those in your home before you come in. We don't want you to get disappointed when we unfortunately have to let you know that we can't adopt one to you because your landlord says no. So if you own your own home, that's great, but you want to make sure that you're checking with your HOAs and all of your landlords. And if you can provide that documentation to us that, hey, we are allowed to have this type of breed in our home before you put in your application, that can make everything go a lot smoother for you and make sure that you're not going to get disappointed. Sullivan you will notice that there's some shaving and some things going on his foot. He did get bitten by another dog, but that has all been taken care of, and now he's back to getting into more of his normal routines after that's healed up. Based on our behavior assessment of Sullivan, we found out a couple things. He is pretty good about keeping his kennel clean, but again, you don't want to treat any dogs that you've adopted from us as if they're house trained. You want to go home and work with them and make sure they know your routine and your cue words and all of those types of things. He's very friendly. He reacts favorably to other dogs while he's in his kennel and they're walking past him. When he's walking past them, he can react to dogs eating. He did that a couple times. So just being mindful when food is around is going to be important. He's pretty easy to walk. He's easy to obtain. He doesn't really have any issues with food aggression. When a person is kind of trying to take his food away, reluctantly gives up objects. He likes to tug a little bit, but he gave up his toy, and he likes to be petted. He again is another very young dog, so he can be a little mouthy when he gets excited, but here he's shown himself to be a very affectionate, loving dog. This guy is Remington, and he's one of the many hounds that we've had on our adoption floor recently. He's a tricolor coonhound, and he's about 3 years old. He was brought to us when his owners were moving and they weren't able to take him along with them. It looks like he did previously live with another older coonhound, so he has lived with another dog before. Hounds do like to be in pairs. They like to have a friend. So if you have another hound and you're looking to add to your group there, Remington's going to be a great addition. His previous owners did say that he was crate trained and house trained, but what we've found is that he's not really great about keeping his kennel clean here. So you're definitely going to have to put a little effort into making sure that you're training him to be housebroken again. As far as hounds go, not really a great dog for apartment life because they tend to bark and bay. They're very vocal dogs, so that can lead to a lot of complaints from your neighbors. But if you have a little bit of space, then hounds make a great addition, especially if you have you enjoy the outdoor lifestyle. So if you're looking to go hiking and camping, those types of things, then Remington is definitely going to be a great addition to your household. We found that he is excitable. He's, friendly dog, but he's excited, so it's hard to kind of get him leashed and harnessed up. He can be difficult to walk because he pulls, which is why he's now wearing a harness that makes it safer for him, and it gives us a little bit more ease in controlling him, making sure that he's okay. Most dogs he was okay walking past. However, there were 2 dogs that we noted that he was not a friend with. So if you do have that existing dog, you want to make sure you bring them in here and let Remington meet with them just to make sure that they're gonna gel and be friends. No real issues with food aggression, willingly lets go of objects, but he's a hound, so that means he's going to follow his nose. So when you're trying to interact with him, pet him, he's kind of cool with it, but he's more interested in the smells and things that are going on around him. So when you're outside, just be mindful that if he catches a scent, he's going to try to chase off after that. If you're if he's out in your fenced yard, he might try to dig under or climb over, jump over to follow a scent. And then if you're using things like those invisible fences, hounds are notorious for following their scent, following their nose and running through those and not coming back. So just make sure that you, as great as hounds are, you want to make sure that you do a little bit of research before making one part of your family, just to make sure that you're prepared for all of kind of their unique characteristics. We have about 7 rabbits on our adoption floor right now, and Tally is one of those. She also happens to be the oldest rabbit that we have on the adoption floor, and she is a beautiful 9-year-old Holland Lop, and she's super soft and super sweet. Unfortunately, her owners were moving and were unable to take Tally along with them, so she's ended up here at a super senior age for a rabbit. I was doing a little bit of research, and rabbits of her breed can live anywhere from 7 to 12 years. So while she is about halfway through that life expectancy range, it could be, you could still have her in your home for another couple of years. So you really don't want to miss out on her just because you're afraid you're not going to have her for very long. We don't know how long any of the animals are going to be with us. One of the things that's going to be very important, however, is because she is older, again, like we've talked with some of the other older animals on the show, they can have more medical, and Tally does have some cataract issues, so she's partially blind. Our vet examined her, and she can definitely see light and shadows and things like that, but she's not seeing as clearly, so she may startle more easily than a typical rabbit. So that's really going to mean that you're going to have to be very slow with her. A quiet home might be more beneficial. Definitely taking it slow. Maybe even a more rabbit experienced home might be the best situation for her. She, according to a previous owner, did live with other animals in the house, but because her vision is impaired, you really want to work to keep her safe. So, if you do have cats and dogs and things like that in the home, you really want to take caution. But our vet says that she would probably do fantastic with just another rabbit companion. So if you already have a rabbit, and we will do rabbit meet and greets here in the shelter if that's something that you're interested in. We have done that before. Tally, just making sure that, and if you've never had a rabbit before, whether you're interested in Tally or any rabbit, rabbits really have special care needs. So you want to make sure that you're providing them with all that they need. So making sure that they have their fruit and their veggies. And according to her previous owner, Tally really liked dried bananas, their hay, their pellets, enrichment items for them to play with and chew on. According to the profile we were given, she likes those types of like bird toys that you would buy and hang for parakeets. We give them lots of cardboard and kind of egg cartons to chew on. She likes to hang out in her cardboard box, those types of things. So if you are interested in Tally and giving her that great last home for her golden years, you can visit with her here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. We hope that you've enjoyed meeting some of our dogs, and of course Tally here. If you're a cat person, have no fear. We'll have some cats for you to meet right after the break.
Did you know a person can have colorectal cancer and yet have no symptoms? Symptoms of colorectal cancer may include bleeding, blood in the stool, abdominal pain or mass, and changes in bowel movements. Ask your doctor if you should be screened for colorectal cancer. Call the Frederick County Health Department at 301-600-3362 for more information or for free colorectal cancer screening for eligible individuals.
Welcome back. Our first cat is one that's kind of hard to miss because she's a little on the larger side. She's a lady, so we'll be a little bit more delicate when we're talking about her weight. This is Callie, and she is one of our senior cats. She is 10 years old, and as I mentioned earlier in the show with Peanut and Coco, she is one of the 4 animals that came in when one owner passed away. So it was Peanut and Coco, and then Callie, and then Spotty, who we'll see a little bit later in the show. They all lived in the same home, and when the owner passed away, the family brought them here to us. Of those 4 animals, I think Callie is actually the one that's adjusted to shelter life the best. She's not nearly as shy as the others. All of the others have been color-coded yellow, and Callie is color-coded green. She is, pretty quiet. She's an older cat. She's not doing a lot of playing, but she's not doing a lot of, grabbing at you and reaching out at you through the cage bars. But when you stop and visit with her, she does come right up to you. She's very affectionate. She wants you to pet her. She will nuzzle into your hand to show you what she likes. Earlier I just had my hand there, and she just kept rubbing her face against my hand like, come on, you have to pet me now. According to the family of the previous owner, they've had her. She'd had her since Callie was 12 weeks old. So she's only ever had the one home. They said that she's friendly, that she's calm, she's a lap cat. Again, she's used to living with small dogs and other cats. The big thing with Callie is going to be finding a new owner that's committed to a weight loss plan for her, because our vet has recommended that she lose at least 4 pounds. So she her frame is relatively small, and she weighs 17 pounds, 13 ounces. So in order to, extend her life expectancy, make sure she's healthy and happy for as long as humanly possible, we want to make sure that she's losing that weight. We have her on a diet here. It's just going to be important for any new owner to continue with that diet plan and to consult with their vet and make sure that you're doing that properly. Encouraging her to exercise a little bit with laser pointers and toys and things like that, and doing what you can. She will also probably need a dental in the near future as well. So making sure, again, with senior pets that you can afford their financial needs as far as their vet care. But she's super sweet, and she's just as deserving of a loving home as any of the kittens that we might have available here. Because she is a senior, she will get that great senior discount if you were to make her part of your family. This is Spotty, and he did come in again with Callie and Coco and Peanut. And according to the paperwork, they're saying that Spotty is Callie's son. So take that for whatever it's worth there. These guys are not housed together. They are housed close to each other. We don't have them listed as a bonded pair or a better together or anything like that. But oftentimes people come in and they're looking for 2 cats. And what makes that adjustment easier than when you take 2 cats who already know each other. So these guys would do well in a home together because they've already lived with one another, basically for their entire lives. This guy is color-coded orange here, but he definitely is the shyer of the 2 cats that came in from that family. And the family did list that he's the shy and nervous one on their paperwork. He's the one that kind of hides in his litter box and hides underneath his hammock, whereas Callie's more right to the front of the cage. So they might balance each other out if they were to be adopted together, and make each other feel a little bit more comfortable in that new environment. He too is a little on the overweight side, so a little weight loss would be beneficial for him at 9 years old, or really any age. You want to make sure your animals are at an appropriate weight. He is in need of a dental far more than Callie is, so we're working on trying to get that set up for him, but it might not be something that we're able to do while he's here with us. So if you're adopting him, you want to make sure that you are financially prepared to handle the cost of that dental surgery. He may need just to have his teeth cleaned, but he may also need extractions, which can cost a little bit more. When you're dealing with senior pets before they go under anesthesia, they're also required to have blood work drawn just to make sure that that's a safe procedure for them. So those costs can build up a little bit. But once you kind of get to know Spotty, he's relatively calm. He's enjoying being petted. He's not super thrilled being in a new location, but I was able to pick him up. He was very he leaned into me. So he has a lot of potential in a new home, but you do definitely want to give him time to settle in. And you also want to understand that when you're looking at pets here, they're coming in from a nervous situation, and it's scary. They don't know why they're here. And he's grieving the loss of his owner. And even though sometimes the animals' owners haven't passed away, they're still grieving the loss of that family that they had before, because it's no longer part of their daily routine. So you want to be a little bit compassionate when you're thinking about that, and give them that patience and that time to settle in. If you are interested in Spotty, you can visit with him here at Animal Control. Our seniors do get a reduced adoption fee, so animals from 5 to 9 go home for $20 off, and animals from 10 and up get a $40 reduction in that adoption fee. This guy is Felix, and for a long time I referred to him as the turtle, because he liked to hide under his bed. He would flip it over and it would sit on top of him, and he would walk around and it looked like he was a turtle with a little shell. And even now, he's moved into a different cage, and he likes to sleep under his rugs and tuck himself in at night. And Felix has come a long way since he first arrived at the shelter. He was part of our Frady Cat program, and he's not thrilled to be out here today in a new environment, in a scary place, right, Felix? But he's definitely come a long way, and he's graduated from that program. So he is now a green color-coded cat, and when he's in an environment where he feels safe and comfortable, for Felix right now, that's going to be his cage. He is super affectionate. He's talkative. He comes right up to you. He wants to roll around, and he wants you to. He lays on his back and wants his chest rubbed and scratched. So he's really come a long way, but he is a cat that's going to require definitely some patience. He is 6 years old. He is a very large brown tabby. He weighs in at about 15 pounds. And he was brought to us because his owner was going away to college and just couldn't take care of him anymore. So he's here through no fault of his own. He just needs someone else who's going to continue to love him and encourage him, and understand that new situations are going to make him a little uncomfortable, and be willing to work with him. We've definitely seen what a great personality he has. So visit with him in his cage. How he's acting right now is actually not the best representation of Felix, because it's scary in here. It's not where he's used to being. There's lots of noises and different people that he's not familiar with, and he had to go in a cat carrier, which he really, really doesn't like. So if you're interested in a lovable kind of goofy guy with a big personality, then come in and ask to meet with Felix and really get a chance to get to know him. He is a senior, as many of the cats on the show today have been, so he'll go home for a reduced adoption fee, making him available for just $72.50. The first step to get to know Felix is to visit him here. Our address is 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Right now we have 2 midnights on the cat floor, and this guy is midnight number 2. He is about 3 years old. He's a black domestic short hair, and he is just a big, smushy, lovable guy. One of the things that we have noticed about him, however, is that he might prefer to be an only cat. He's done some hissing at other cats and things like that. So just take that into consideration if you have existing cats in your home, or if you're planning on adding additional cats after an adoption of Midnight here. He came to us because the family, the person who was caring for the cat, somebody in the household had a stroke, and they, with caring for the person, they were just unable to also manage caring for the cat. They said that they found him as a stray, and they had him for about a year, and we're estimating that he's approximately 3 years old. He is calm, you're able to handle him, he's playful, friendly, energetic. I've seen all of those things here in the shelter, so those definitely are accurate personality qualities for him. It also says that he's afraid of loud noises, which many of the cats here are, and many cats in general are just afraid of loud noises. One of the other things that they wrote is that he is really good about using his scratch pads. So he scratches on his cardboard scratch pad. So a lot of people are concerned, is this cat going to claw my furniture? And apparently Midnight here is really good about using his claws on appropriate things. So as long as you're providing him with those items, you shouldn't have any issues. So if that's really what you're looking for, and that's one of your main concerns, then maybe Midnight is going to be a great cat for you. Oftentimes black cats can have a harder time getting adopted, not necessarily for any superstitious reasons, but there tend to be more of them. There are probably about a dozen black cats on our adoption floor right now, and then they just kind of blend in with the dark cages, so it makes it harder for them to stand out. But one of the things that you'll notice about Midnight is that he's very outgoing. He will come to the front of his cage. He has little white spots on his chest, and he's got a big one down on his belly. And he's just a lovable cat. So if you are looking for a black cat, then maybe Midnight is the right match for you, especially if you're just looking to have one animal in your home. You can visit with him here at 1832 Rosemont Avenue. The adoption fee for all of our adult cats is $97.50. Our last guest today is Alvin, and he's one of our new additions to our kitty cabana. For those of you who don't know, the kitty cabana is a free roaming cat room. We have two areas set up for those guys. We have one with a little bigger, with a little bit more outgoing animals, and then we have a smaller room with some animals that are a little bit shyer, and Alvin lives in that room. He's joined Wampus and Martini. He's about 2 years old. He's a gray domestic short hair, and he's coming along. He's definitely not as shy as he once was. In addition to living in the cabana with other cats, he did come in with another gray cat named Leo, who was about 4 years old. Leo was placed with rescue, and since that time, Alvin's definitely come out of his shell a little bit, since he's not having to kind of deal with his brother being so outgoing and in your face and kind of living in his shadow. He's definitely shown his own personality a little bit more. Alvin came to us when his owner's living situation changed. We're not necessarily sure what that means, but it could mean a variety of things. She did write that he was playful and shy and he was a little bit nervous, but he will come to you for attention, and he's definitely starting to do that the more comfortable he gets with living in the shelter environment. So he is still in our transition cage in the kitty cabana, and he will be there until we feel that he and all the other cats in there are kind of used to one another, and then he'll be able to roam free in there and hang out with them. He'll be able to come sit on people's laps, and you'll be able to see what he's like in more of a home environment, which can really help enhance adoptions for those animals. So if you're interested in a beautiful gray cat, you can stop in and visit with Alvin. The adoption fee for him, again, is going to be $97.50. Thanks for watching Pet Pals today. We hope that you enjoyed meeting a few of our adoptable animals. There are always many more on the adoption floor than what we're able to showcase here on the show. So if you didn't see something that you're interested in making part of your family, stop in and visit with us. We are open to the public Monday through Saturday. The kennel hours are going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturday from 10 to 4. And we hope that you'll stop by and visit soon.